It is absolutely wild to not only just like stand up in this camper, but to like sit here in living room mode and have this entire space to basically work in. Okay, so this here is called living room mode. There's not enough room to sleep up here with the floor back, but you could definitely sit up here and the mattress just folds back and you have all that extra space. And it opens up this entire floor area. I just got back from my road trip. I drove all the way to Michigan to ADV Mobile to have the Super Pacific X1 installed on my F-150. They were the closest dealer to Buffalo, New York, and so I made the drive. I bought the camper, sight unseen, spent a lot of money on something I'd never seen before. But safe to say I'm really excited. I am very impressed with the build quality of this camper. It ticks all the boxes of things that I wanted out of this camper: to have a place to go when it's raining, to be able to stand up inside, get changed, work, hang out, etc. So I'm very excited. There is currently nothing in it except for this X-Ped air mattress that came with it, and the bug screens that I had installed, and the lights that I had installed. But otherwise, there are no accessories. I have ordered a ton of stuff from Super Pacific, but it hasn't arrived yet. While I wait for that shipment to come, I want to figure out what my kitchen setup is going to be. Because now we have this camper space and this like big floor area, I really want to be able to cook in here if the weather is bad, instead of cooking in the rain like I did on my big road trip last year. Over the next couple of months, we're going to be dialing in this setup to figure out what works and what doesn't. I also need to reorganize my deck drawers because we have a new addition to the family, and so I have to make space for her. I'll introduce you to her in a little bit. While I wait for all of these accessories to build out the camper to come from Super Pacific, we're gonna work on my kitchen solution and have an idea, and it might be crazy. I'm gonna blame some of you for this. You were like, I'm surprised you don't have more Snow Peak. Well, I bought more Snow Peak. Oh, that's really heavy. In a past video, some of you were like, I'm really surprised you don't have more Snow Peak stuff. And same. This is like a very atypical solution for this truck camper. Let me explain why. I am trying to maintain the ability to use my truck as a truck. So everything that goes into the camper needs to be easily removed, which is why I'm not going for some kind of permanent storage system with like a sink and benches and all this stuff. That is too much for what I need. The Snow Peak IGT kind of piqued my interest for a couple of reasons. I watch a lot of snow peakers on YouTube. I watch this channel called Sir Campalot. Him and his family camp with Snow Peak stuff all the time, specifically cooking with the IGT, and I find myself when I am like relaxing, watching his videos and really getting into the camp cooking. As I was thinking about kind of solutions on dealing with the cooking setup for my truck camper, I was like, I love watching this. I would love to have that experience. So why not bring that experience into my camping setup? So I'm kind of taking a gamble on this setup. I haven't seen anybody put a Snow Peak IGT in their truck camper yet, anywhere. I've been looking everywhere for inspiration. We'll let you know at the end of this video if the Snow Peak IGT works as a removable, modular camping kitchen for inside a Super Pacific camper, or any wedge style camper. This is a Stanlock basket, not Snow Peak. This is gonna be my garbage can. We've got the 400 mil legs. These are gonna be the legs that are going on the IGT inside the truck. Basically sit on the ground, boil your kettle, make your supper. That's the move that we're going for. Lantern accessories. I really don't like these clamps at all. Two 600 mil legs, four, I think, 800s. Drop down offset legs. These will also make sense later. This is a shelf that goes under the IGT, which fits my Cydio crate perfectly. 3-piece IGT frame, 2-piece bamboo insert, slide-on table extension for eating, and we have a stove that is in the other room. I'll go get it in a minute. All right, let's set this up. So this is not something I'm gonna be setting up at camp every time. I'm planning on having the short version set up in the truck all the time. Basically, if I wanna take the stove out of the truck and use it on the tailgate, I just put the legs on like this. Same thing goes in here. And we could just use that for cooking kind of as normal, just with the legs. I don't think I'll be doing any like extensive cooks inside the truck just because of smells. So this piece I got from Stanlock. They make kind of like a Snow Peak IGT knockoff. You can't get all of their accessories in the States, but you can get the IGT. I haven't used it. But their accessories, some of them fit. And so this is like a basket. I ordered the Snow Peak trash bag thing. I hated it. It did not work out for the setup that I had in mind, but this fits perfectly like this. And then we have this little rail here that goes in. This is my solution for in-truck cooking. I hope that this works out. Hopefully I'll be able to get this tethered into the truck good enough so that it's not gonna be banging around, but it's pretty sturdy outside of, I think the stove is a little bit noisy. We'll put this in the truck, see how it fits. And then we're gonna pop the awning and we're gonna break out the larger portion of this cook setup and just try out both scenarios. I love how this looks and I'm excited to use it at camp. I'm very well aware that this is like glamping, but like, let's stop gatekeeping what camping is. Do what you want, have fun, bring out what you enjoy. I enjoy this type of stuff. I love camping. I love aesthetically pleasing things. Let's stop judging one another for what they want to bring at camp. So this is who I have to accommodate. This is Chopper. She is a mini Australian Shepherd, rescue baby, aren't you? We're training her to be our little adventure dog. She's 13 weeks at the moment. She's never been in this room before, so she's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? We're gonna try camping with her for the first time this weekend in the truck. We'll stand on the table and show everybody how small you are. Oh. She is a red tri, and I think her max weight is gonna be 15 or 20 pounds. That's what they told us. Who knows? Thank you so much. I love you. Chopper and I are gonna go eat lunch, and then I'm gonna throw that Snow Peak stuff in the truck and see how it works. Wow, you're being so chill right now, Chop. There she is. There she is. So that's pretty neat about this setup is because the cap is so high, with the floor pulled over, I can just sit in here with my legs crossed directly on the ground. I have them crunched over a little bit, but it does make it great because I'll still be able to come down here in the morning if Chris is asleep, and if I want to make a coffee, I can do that by just sitting on the ground. So my camp kitchen solution, if I'm going to be cooking in here, or if I have to cook in here, I need to have a little bit of height so I'm able to do that without catching this place on fire. Now, I think most of the time I will be cooking off the tailgate or underneath the awning. That's kind of the idea. You see that there? In theory, this should work out pretty good. It's obviously very tight in here. This table piece can come off and get stored. I'm gonna have molly panels all along here, so I'll be able to kind of store that, and also molly panels all along here too. In theory, I think this is gonna work. In practice, only time will tell. I really need to get the rest of the molly panels in here, strap it up, use it, and see how it goes. I think definitely for, you know, a solo trip, just me, perfect. For 3 of us, I don't know. Might have to change it all again before our big trip in the fall. I think we're gonna camp in the yard with Chopper for the first time, and she's never been camping, but she's obsessed with outdoors. She almost has all of her vaccinations, so the vet said we are safe to take her to non-public campgrounds, which means camping in the yard's fine. So we're gonna try her in here first, logistically see what we're missing, what we're not missing. If you wanna see that entire video, it will be on my channel at some point. For now, we're just gonna test that IGT setup. I wanted to try setting up the Snow Peak IGT table inside the back of the truck to come down into the woods to make sure that it wasn't going to move, and the way I have it set up is working really good. However, I would like to go full on with the larger IGT tonight, so I'm actually going to remove this from the truck and set it up. And something I'm realizing is that, like, we watch these videos on YouTube, like the Snow Peakers, and I'm like, oh my god, I want that experience, but that experience is also a significant amount more work because there's so much to set up, so many little pieces, it takes a long time. The way I have this set up now with the IGT in the truck, it's probably gonna be like that most of the time when we're camping, and then bringing the big setup is more so like when we're out for a couple of nights and we wanna do that whole experience. But this is a trial run and we're only out for one night, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the truck and set it up because I really, really wanna try it out. It looks beautiful. We'll see if it's functionally worth the hassle. But I think this is more so made for like campgrounds with level land, because out here in the woods, it's I've been having to find pieces of scrap wood to kind of level the table. I hate these clamps. I don't know how they work. I should probably look it up, but a clamp should be obvious. This is not. It's a hassle. So you might remember that lantern and gas can cover from this video up here. I'm excited to finally break it out and use it. This has been a lot to set up, but it's a shakedown trip and a trial, and this is not everything I'm gonna bring all the time, but I wanted to have a fun little cook tonight, just like a really simple thing. I made a video where I talked about how much I love glamping. I actually really like family-friendly campgrounds as well because it's just so much easier. The ground is flat and gravel, and there's a bathroom and water and etc., etc. So sometime this summer, I really, really would love to go out to a campground, an actual campground, bring all this stuff and do 2 nights and just hunker down with the dog and just like bring some really good food to cook. That tickles me, and I would like to do that. But for now, we're gonna have a little snack and then probably get a fire going in a little bit.
Oh, excuse me, auto starter.
Wicked. I made that soup from scratch.
Well, that's leftover homemade soup, isn't it?
Cheers to this weird camp. This camp kitchen setup is pretty cool. I think when we're doing remote trips, we're just gonna use the low one inside the truck and then kind of cook off the tailgate. Just keep it simple. What we're finding is there's a lot of stuff going on. It's also our first time camping with our puppy, so we have a lot of extra things here too, just in case. I'd like to be, done 30 minutes from packing everything down to rolling out of camp. That's my goal. So we'll be doing some shakedown trips throughout the summer before this big trip, but I really like this. This is really fun. It's aesthetically pleasing. Sitting down and having a meal together with this little table is awesome. These chairs are really great chairs for being around the fire and hanging out. Not so great for eating because you're kind of like pushed forward and they're like a little bit low. So we'll work on that setup. At a certain point, I just have like too much gear, but different setups for different occasions, we'll say. After our trial in the woods with our puppy, Chris and I started brainstorming on what needs to change for our big remote trip later this year. And one of those things was minimizing what's in the back of the truck. Oh, that's the worst. Okay, putting this back in, packing up the truck, realizing that for our big trip that we're gonna be doing, way too much stuff. The battery's capacity is also not large enough for what we're gonna need, especially running the heater all night. A little bit concerned about that propane, given how much it drew for one night at like 10 degrees Celsius. If we get caught in the winter and it's 5 days and there's no propane refill, well, that could be concerning. So we'll have to do a few more tests and see how that goes. Probably a warmer sleep system will bring in a heated blanket, and I think we'll be okay if the heat goes. I got these cushions for seating inside the truck or on the tailgate or on the ground or on a picnic. They're waxed canvas, nice and thick. Beautiful cushions. Love them! Feels like everything is new. Like we've never taken all of this stuff out. We've got like a completely new tent setup, a new heater setup, a new kitchen setup, new storage, a new dog. So like not just one thing is overwhelming, but like everything is overwhelming. So that's our first shakedown trip. So that's to be expected, I guess. So hopefully on the next one, we'll learn a couple of things and hopefully it won't be as challenging. Right, Chris?
Challenging.
Challenge. We decided we're going to ditch the Yeti box for a more stripped down camp kitchen, simplify everything, and then come up with a solution to decrease the mud in the truck with boots, and also have a place for Chopper to rest inside. So many new smells in here.
New smells, new objects, yeah.
So overall, I think this Snow Peak IGT is going to work out for us pretty well, but we still need to build out the rest of the interior of the camper, as well as make some tweaks to the interior of the truck to accommodate our dog for our upcoming trip. But that's in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.